Welcome to the Smoking Word. Welcome to the Smoking Word.
What's up, everybody? The Smoking Word is back and always brought to you by CasaDeRock.com. I want to thank everybody who held me down last year and copped that merch. Thank you. You know, you kept the machine moving, but if you want to support the show, you can go to CasaDeRock.com right now. I got brand new ashtrays, lighters, and grinders for all you lighters and freaking incense lighters. So you know what I mean? So if you want to support the movement, I got some new items, CasaDeRock.com. And if you're from Europe or anywhere else on the planet, you can go to CasaDeRock.eu and my brother Theo will take care of you. So again, US only, CasaDeRock.com, and everywhere else on the planet, CasaDeRock.eu. Tell Theo The Rock sent you. But I want to shout out to my Patreon family members all over the planet. I know I say the same shit every week, and I'm going to keep fucking saying it. But they helped the magic happen. Shout out to everybody all around the planet, my brothers and sisters and animals or whatever you want to call yourselves nowadays. We feel the love. Keep supporting the movement. We got a lot of shit planned for next year. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/thesmokingword. Again, if you have a job and you like what you hear and you want us to keep doing our thing, patreon.com/thesmokingword. That's where you go do it. Follow me on Instagram, Hoya Rock 357 on Instagram. The Smoking Word podcast is also on Instagram. So if you got any questions, if you want to hear anything, if you want to say something, hit us up there. And I need everybody. You have to subscribe. I keep saying this shit, but you got to understand how important this is. The more you people subscribe, and subscribing is free. So if you're asking for how much it is, you cheap fucks, it's free. FREE. That means nothing, nada. You go, the more you subscribe, the more it lets people know. People want to hear us and they get us, to like-minded people. So we got to make an imprint on the planet. You understand? So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Smoking Word TV. We just dropped some new footage, and I'm actually recording some footage right now for my Patreon as this shit is going on. So again, shout out to everybody holding us down. Shout out to that again. Hella hot sauce for holding us down with the hot sauce. Again, big super shout out to the Cali Care Group for keeping me mentally stable. Shout out to them for holding me down. Yo, Joe, what up? And shout out to everybody else who's been holding down the podcast all around the planet. We love you. This week is a reboot of a podcast we did a couple of weeks ago, but, due to the forces that be and technical difficulties, shit happens. But your boy is back, and again, we're chopping it up again with my bro, Armando, 451 Fahrenheit in the building. Let's set this shit off.
Yo.
Rewind.
It's the remix.
Yeah, bigger and better. You know what? I said, fuck that. We're going to make it. It's going to be better if we just let it marinate a little bit more. But listen,
bring it back,
listen, let me just give everybody a quick little recap on what we're talking about. Basically, I did this podcast with my bro right here a couple of weeks ago, but due to the lunar eclipse and a couple of other natural disasters and a tidal waves and whatnot, shit happens. Gorillas got fat fingers, things get, mixed up in the matrix. But long story short, I had to bring my bro back because I said, let's get Armando. Let's let him know what's up with Fahrenheit being back in the motherfucking building.
No, man, we're back.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Smoking Word, first of all.
Oh, no doubt, man. Glad to be back. Thank you for having me again.
Nah, you know what's up. What's up? No, but what's cracking? I know we kind of went through this before, but you know what? I kind of don't remember it. So It's good. We're gonna, and more has happened since then on the real, like because we were leading up to shows and stuff. So we got something to to lead up to. But what you been up to, man?
None, man. Like when I contacted you the day, I was in Mexico. So
Andale. Yeah, what was that about? So what's up with that? Vacation?
dude, yeah, just mad fun, dude. I was out there for 2 weeks. Went around a little bit, Oaxaca, Mexico City. I love that.
Oh,
I love Mexico. So
And-
yeah, a lot of eating, a lot of drinking, and yeah, just chilling.
Yeah, and how was it there? Everybody, it was a lot of tourists out there.
Yeah, it was packed, dude. Like you'd be surprised. I was like, people are pretty conscious about space,
Yeah.
but there were places where you go into it, just like you go into a fucking market in Oaxaca, it's just like
Of course,
wall to wall people. It's
they
like,
have donkey shows there. You worried about 6 feet?
yeah, true, man. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's other things you have to contend with where you could potentially get caught out there slipping.
No, I love Mexico. Mexico's dope. Like, you could eat good for, if you know where to go. Also, cheap, but good. And, the people know how to party and it's like a good time.
Yeah.
You also can
super
wake up
fun.
with no kidneys if you end up in the wrong.
Facts. You know what I'm
Saloon.
saying? I'm not trying to roll. Yeah, trying to roll in those circles. So I think I'm gonna be okay. But but it was so dope that my girl and I plan on going back in middle of March again.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I love it there. I actually went there a summer vacation when I was 14, going on 15 with my god brother. He was Mexican and Puerto Rican, crazy combo.
Sure,
but I went out there, spent the summer, and I loved it. I grew up with a lot of Mexicans. My mother just happened to be, my god brother's family was half Mexican, so we were around them, and I grew up there, and I grew up going back and forth, here and there throughout the years. But yeah, I love Mexico, man. We got to play there. Good.
Oh, did you? Oh, that must have been dope.
Oh my God. I was just talking about it the other day. Like, they fucking Mexico got, like everything. It's with heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Latino countries tend to like really bring it, like
they bleed
the fanaticism of it is just they really embrace it.
They fucking bleed that shit. But fucking that's good. And fucking obviously since we last talked, when we originally talked, the band was starting to get back together. I don't want to say get back to, but starting to play more. For everybody out there, they probably either saw you or heard about the shows that you've played, and we'll get into that. But let's lead into what was happening before. Obviously, everybody was doing the everyday thing, and how did it come back? What made Fahrenheit get back and say, "Yo, let's get back and make some noise"? Let's start.
I've always been in contact with most everybody in the band, and I don't know. Our bass player Kevin recently had a brain aneurysm. And I was coincidentally on the phone with Lenny, and we've always kind of go back and forth, see if it feels right, and be like, "Yo, should we do something?" And I got in my head, it's like, man, like homeboy could have died. You know what I mean? Like we have this relationship, we have this thing that's super important to all of us, and we're like, it'd be a shame if we still can do it. You know what I mean? It'd be a shame not to try and do it, especially we never know when we're gonna see each other again. And that'd be sad if we just didn't do it just because of some weird thing, and it's not just about the feeling. Yeah. So as I'm like on FaceTime with Lenny, and then all of a sudden I look at my text, and it's a text from Toby, and he was like, "Yo, you guys down to play the H2O shows?" And we're just talking about it, And I was just bringing it to Lenny. I was like, "Oh, I wonder who gonna get to open, because the bills are totally changed now because of the timing, and they don't have any openers set up." And then he texted me, we're like, "Oh shit." Then it worked out. It was good, and for the most part, Ray is not really into it. So we got Lou Medina, who's a fucking powerhouse.
But you want to know what, and Ray's a killer. Don't get me. We all know he was a murder. He murdered it, and an ill-looking guy. Like, he had everything to be memorable. And not that he's not memorable, but you know what? I'm used to seeing what Lou being in your camp-ish, that, you know what? I didn't even put it together till right now. You just said that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know this or nothing, but just because it's all that same crew of guys. So to me, I didn't even think. I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot." It's like, "Oh shit, I forgot that." But it's good that you could also keep it fam like that too. You know what I mean?
Totally. Lou, we've known Lou for so long, and he's just an awesome guy. He's a dope ass drummer.
Yeah,
and fellow Latino.
I think we asked him to play drums at the tryout many years ago too. Yeah. Both your drummers. We gotta, we know what the flavor is. You gotta go where the black and the Spanish dudes are. There's a few of us.
Sprinkle a little sazon on that shit.
It's like there's the flavor department. All right, you want starch? Okay, that's what the white guys are there. You want some regular. Yeah,
well, we only got one white guy in our band, which is kind of
but
funny.
you needed to even out. You need to make something sweet. You need salt, right?
Balance.
Listen,
It's like Benetton, dude. You know what I'm saying? Flavor for
exactly.
everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. The New York hardcore scene was definitely like a Benetton commercial. But fucking so all right, so Ray, and you know what? Yeah, Ray, we both of them we had asked at one point. Now I'm remembering like, we asked back in the day. But fucking so oh yeah, you said, which I'm glad you guys decided to, because like I said it on the last time, I said you guys are an important band to the fucking scene, because one for not just coming out when we came out, because it ain't about the Madball shit, but in that era was, I feel, one of, and I ain't on no bitter shit because I like a lot of the new shit too, but I think that was the last and the most flavorful of variety in the New York hardcore scene. And like there was bands like you, which there wasn't a lot of bands like you, but there was a band like you. There was a band like a Madball. There was a band like a H2O. There was a band like a Scarhead. There was a band like, we had the Fury of Five,
VODs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so you had so much variety, and nothing was bleeding into nothing yet. No. Which, fair game. It's gonna happen. But and the more and more when I was again doing the podcast, I start going and I start looking at, obviously I wanted to do people I know first. And I'm lucky to have friends that happen to be in great bands and all that. And then I remember getting around, and you guys, I remember had popped up in my head a lot. And I was like, yo, you know what? I go, man, they always they're lingering around, but I was like, nah, but I was like, and you get when you do get the props, you get the right props, but you didn't get enough props because it was an important time frame for New York hardcore. That where variety, it was so open. It went from being very open to very more like this. I'm not, and not a good or bad thing, but it was just the style became more towards like everything more towards the metalish, metallic end of hardcore. When back then we were doing punk, hip hop, mixed fucking Latin flavors and ba and all that good shit. So I was glad you guys were back to rekindle that and show people like, yo, this ain't no new shit. This is like some shit that happened.
Yeah. No, and it's been fun, and we've gotten even to the point where now we're gonna probably try and write 2 new songs.
Oh yeah.
Like we might be putting out I think we're gonna put out the EP with 2 extra songs out in Europe on vinyl. We never put vinyl out.
Really? Wait, hold on. You guys never put out a vinyl?
Never, man.
Wow.
We never even put out a full length record. Like we did it ourselves. We did it to a little side label. We did the discography, but we had like an EP, a demo, New York's hardest, and
that's pretty good. Yeah, I never even thought of. You know what? Again, I didn't even think of that shit. That's fucking good.
Yeah, we had extra songs that we had recorded. We did with Howie when he was over at Zamba and stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's fun. It's like beyond everything. It's like it's just a fun place to be. It's fun to be with my friends. It's it's still everything's gravy. We're having a good time. It's not that same shit. Because we were all trying to make it. Everybody thought like what I'm saying. It's like this is what I want my life to be. Yeah. Now it's just about enjoying each other's company and just having fun.
Yeah, and why not? I used to be on that. I mean, obviously, I do it for a living.
Of course. But but you're one of the exceptions.
And I know, and I'm lucky, and we know that. But still, I think about like the same shit. I'm like, even if I didn't, I was like, why wouldn't I do it? When I had the time, I'm like, for that one reason, it's like, oh, instead of getting together and going to a bar and sitting around for fucking 4 hours drinking beer, we could drink beer in a fucking rehearsal room and make some noise. You know what I mean?
No,
I'm
absolutely.
like, but we're not trained like that sometimes, mentally. We, it's like, I got used to being with this band. I got too used to being like, since it's a full-time thing, like, oh, you got to think full-time always, when it's like, no, it's, I forgot it's a thing that I love too. You
got to give yourself the space to be able to like just enjoy it and enjoy the moment in it. And it's like, but again, it's like you've got to balance the whole, especially, the whole working aspect of the whole, I'm playing in a fucking band and this is what I do for a living. It's fucking fun,
It's crazy. And you know what's crazy? Well, you guys, that all you guys were, it's hard to keep a band together, period, to have everybody on the same page. And it's cool that you were able to get most of the guys back on, on deck to even work on new shit. That's dope.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, for Frank, Frank's been my childhood friend. I've known him since I was like a year old.
Shout out to Frank. Hell yeah. I was just thinking about him too, because I'm Sunfest up in Newport with Puerto Rican Mike, and we were talking. Yeah. There's an old picture flying around. He's there. He remembers we almost got a Puerto Rican Mike almost got arrested. Somebody, long story, but I remember.
Yeah. We did Sunfest. Yeah, that used to be my fraternity up in college. So I used to go up there and we got in a band. We wanted to playing. It was just like a huge party.
Yeah,
we just drank all day. It was super fun. Yeah, we managed to do a lot of cool, fun stuff, in the short time that we were around. So that was
yeah, and so all right. So you grew up. Let's go back to all right, because we talked about it obviously before, but to me it bugs me out. Not just bugs me out, but I know it has to be interesting to some people because for me it's interesting being from New York and knowing that not everybody everybody's from a borough or from this, of course, but like I do, it's rare to be either you're Latin or black, and then being on top of that, not being from downtown Manhattan where it's all right, we're from the Bronx, we're from Queens, we're like from the neighborhoods where it's this type of music isn't the common music in our background and our growing up. So I always bug out, and I always like to hear of not just because I'm Latin and it's a Latin thing, but it's always curious how we found this music, because in our world is very limited with heavy music, rock and roll. Yeah, there's always been Latin people in rock and roll, but hardcore's niche, even with white people, let alone with Latin people. You know what I mean? So it's like, how did you fall into that, like heavy music in general?
It was weird because we all loved hip hop and we all grew up the beginning of hip hop, and being from the Bronx, it was like such a thing. And one day, it's funny because Frank is the guy who's kind of put me onto a lot of this stuff growing up, and he brought over like a couple of cassettes. He's like, yo, you gotta listen to this, and it was Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, and we were like, yo, this is bug, like this is fucked up. And we just loved it. And then from then on, it just went to it kind of went to heavy quick. So it went to Metallica and Slayer. And then when I was 15, nobody knew what metal wasn't on it. That was when nobody knew. Like people were like, that's some kill your mother, kill your dog, rape your fucking whatever shit, devil shit. And he was like, yo, I got tickets to go see this band called Megadeth out at L'Amour's. And that was on the D train. That was about an hour and a half. On the way there, on the way back, it's 2.5 hours later. At least L'Amour's lets out at 3 a.m. So it was Megadeth, the Crumbsuckers, Possessed, and I think First Order.
Wow!
At L'Amour's, and they filmed the Peace Elves But Who's Buying video. It was that night.
Wow!
I was 15. I remember seeing U68 because we didn't have cable, so U68 came out the Power Hour. You started watching that, and all of a sudden you see that this. That the ad for L'Amour is a dude getting tossed out the front door. Funny, when we got there, I was 15. We roll up, I didn't have long hair. I was into metal. This fucking guy jumps out, metalhead, long, and just flies out the door, just throws up all in front of L'Amour's. We were like, holy shit. And we had to go with Frank. We had to go with Frank's older sister because we were too young, so she had to come with us so we can get in.
Yeah.
And after that, everything changed, man. It was just and then I found myself going to L'Amour's all the time, and then CB's, and then
what was crazy about L'Amour? People don't understand. Now a show is done by 11 o'clock. That shit, we would leave L'Amour's at 3 a.m.
It was crazy.
You get home, its sun is out.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude. It was nuts, and then you had to walk. If it was cold, it was fucked up because you were sweating, all your clothes are basically sticking to you inside from dancing and even from hanging out. And then you go out in that cold, and you're like, holy shit, this is fucked up.
Wait on the platform.
Yeah, and I want a meeting a ton of people in metal and hardcore, and then like I said, that turned into the Ritz, and it turned into going to Palladium and going to shows, and it was just and it all made sense, and it was weird. And then we wound up meeting. There was only 5 of us on our block, so it was me, Frank. I went to junior high school with Mike, Puerto Rican Mike. So then
heavy metal Mike.
So one day we saw him, he's got the vest with his brother Jerry, and they rolled through the neighborhood like, oh shit, you're into metal too? Fuck yeah. And then all of a sudden, you're forming bands and playing in the basement of some building, and it was fun, and then it was just us. And we grabbed the box and we walk from 170 to Fordham to Poe Park, and we sit there with our boom box. So it would be freestyle kids over here, hip hop kids back here, and then us metal kids on the bench in the front. on the corner of like 183rd and like the concourse. It was fun. It was funny.
That's funny.
Almost got beat up a bunch of times. Yeah.
That's some New York shit people won't understand, like, because they think, downtown Manhattan, they think the Village, and like, I'm like, yo, the world, that's only where the shit was accepted was there. Everywhere else, that shit was not accepted. You know what I mean? Like in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it was weird, but the thing was, it was funny because going to Lemoore was different. It was like it was predominantly white kids, you know what I mean?
Especially Lemoore's.
Yeah. It wasn't until I went to CB's for the first time. It was when I was 15, still metalhead. And it was a lot more diverse. And I was like, oh shit, this is kind of crazy. But I didn't get really into hardcore until like 89 when I went to go see, I saw the Bad Brains, went to go see the Bad Brains at Lemoore's with 247 Spies and Leeway. And it was just like, oh shit, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That was the one that got you, huh?
Yeah, it wrote me. I cut my hair like a month later. I was just like, fuck this. Then started going to the Anthrax and doing all that shit. So it was fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what's crazy? That once you find the difference with this shit, is what I tell people, the difference with this shit and like what metal is, like that once you get in the scene, there's like a world of young kids like that run this shit. Like, there'll be, there's a promoter or two that's grown men, but in general, there's a whole network of young kids that are booking the shows, finding the shows, promoting the shows. And it's like, hip hop kids aren't doing that. I grew up like that. They're not getting together saying where we're going to throw a party. Yeah, maybe a couple DJs back in the day in the Bronx, if your name was Flash, Kaz, and whatever. But otherwise, you're just hanging out, listening to music, thinking about how you can make money.
Yeah.
In our world, we think about, wow, where could we go catch this music? Where could we go see it? Where could we be around other people that love this music? And it's crazy. We're all 15, 16 years old.
I know. It was interactive, from the flyers to the zines to the demos. You know what I'm saying? You used to walk out of a show and, you got a pocket full of fucking flyers. You got maybe someone's demo. You got like a zine you picked. It was always this kind of very kind of organic, like.
And when you were rehearsing, where the fuck you rehearsing? The Bronx, or you come to the city?
No, at first we were rehearsing in Astoria at the music.
Oh, the music, okay.
But I couldn't convince these guys to come to Brooklyn because that was a pain in the ass. All those guys drive. So now we're rehearsing in Gowanus at Battalion.
Oh, now you're talking about, right? No, I mean back then where you would rehearse, like when you're first starting out, like where you're starting out, where it was like you had a neighborhood spot, you go to the city.
No, Fast Lane.
Wow.
And that was like so dumb because none of us lived in Brooklyn. It was just because, Lenny wasn't without a cause. And, that was a spot they used to rehearse at. And so I go to Fastlane the first 2 times. I was like, why the fuck are we going all the way out here, man? So then we went going ultrasound and what was the other spot with the F? What was the other spot? And then the music building sometimes, what I'm saying?
There were some classic spots. We were lucky in Queens. Our spot, we had the Underground Studios back then.
Yeah.
And which was like a legit spot. And it was like
you got your own room, you know what I'm saying? And that's
yeah. That's when you grow up, you get your own room. Like when we became big boys.
You got a budget, you got that deal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you get that Roadrunner money, It was like get a Bentley or we rehearsal room. All right.
I don't even remember. That was my first job out of college, was at Roadrunner. And I was the assistant to the radio person. I was working the Madball record, Set It Off record to alternative radio. That Life of Agony, Doggy Dog.
I remember. Oh, thank you, because we actually had some plays back then getting on some shit. Like we were in the Cockroach movie. Everybody go rent the fucking Cockroach movie, fucking Joe's Apartment. They played New York City in the beginning of the movie. So that was dope.
And they love to supply posters to everything. Now you see all those old 90s shows, they all have like every Roadrunner release poster. Like it looks like some angsty, angry kid that got like all those posters like up in their
shout
room.
Out to Roadrunner. Roadrunner was fucking, again, we're lucky because people, we're one of the few bands, and I wear it with pride, that we never got dropped from Roadrunner. We left Roadrunner. They let us go, and it wasn't on, and it was with love. I remember even Monty being like, "Really, you guys want to leave?" It was just at the time we were trying to, make bigger moves, and back then money was going to Typo Negative or whatever big band was. Fair enough, whatever it was, but it was always love of Roadrunner. Roadrunner, They did give a fuck about putting heavy music on the map,
totally
from every level. Like look, from the ground level, they're getting people in the mix to work at the places. You remember the whole Roadrunner crew was at shows.
Yeah, it was full of fans. It was full of people who actually liked the music. But remember, I mean, think about that time and that label. You guys, Life of Agony, Doggy Dog, Sepultura, fucking Buzz Oven. Like it was just so crazy.
fucking
You know what I mean?
insane.
Typo, like
We were
Biohazard at some
all
point.
those
You know
when
what I
it
mean?
was all connected, with the earache and the road running. It was like I remember going to see. I would see one day we'd go see Godflesh, and then the next day we're seeing fucking Shelter or some shit, and then the next day we was like all over the place. Like,
oh yeah, Shelter, Frontline Assembly, like so many different types of bands. You were just like, holy shit, like they're really kind of running it.
And then so when you started working with Roadrunner, were you in the band yet? Was the band started yet or not yet?
No. I was just because I never wanted to be in a band. Like I was working the business. So I always wanted to be in the business. So I left when I graduated from college. I wound up getting an internship there, and then at one point, without a cause, like the singer left or whatever, got tossed out, and they were like trying people out. And I used to hang out with them all the time, because I was trying to help them and trying to, put my foot in. And they were like, yo, after a while, they're like, yeah, no one's working out. I go, you just want to try out? I'm like, dude, I've never sang in a band. Like, it's not my thing. Like, I don't even see myself on stage. That's crazy. And finally, one day I just said, fuck it. And I did. And then they were like, all right, dude, rehearsals next week. And I was like, all right. But I was never really concentrating on the band stuff. I was mostly in the business. And then I wound up getting fired from Roadrunner. I wound up working there as an intern, then started running the mailroom, which I would hire everybody. And then, the infamous Roadrunner mailroom, everybody works there, you know what I'm saying? And then I wound up being like a sales marketing assistant. And then I got fired. And then after that, I was like, you know something? Fuck it. Like, I'm going to try and do this band thing real heavy. And then just focused on that. And that's when it kind of became serious.
Why you got fired? Do you know why?
Remember, I'm gonna fucking drop.
The incriminating years are done with, or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's like me and Doug never got along, and that's cool because him and I wound up being. It's funny, him and I wound up being cool years later, and the funny thing is, I wound up working with Vaughn and Kenny at Strong, and I wound up having to go there, and I took a photo with the Killswitch Gold record because I was working that record back in the day with all of them.
By the way, shout out to them with a gold record.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Well, one of the other records just went platinum, like on the sly. The Daylight Dies Killswitch record just went platinum.
Holy, Killswitch! You need a bass player, holla. You need a backup. You need another vocal, another vox on the back.
I'm ready.
Holla, I'm ready.
So
shout out to Killswitch and Vaughn and all of them. Hell yeah. My peoples. I wound up taking a photo with them for Billboard thing, and it was kind of funny because it was like full circle, But yeah, him and I, wound up being cool and talked about it. But yeah, and then he just fired me, and I was just like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Yeah. When you started, so I mean, not for nothing. I mean, when you had the option to join the band, the good thing was like you kind of knew people already then,
Yeah. Totally. I was already going to shows
and all that bullshit.
Yeah,
it's crazy. No, but that's good. And when you started jamming, all right, who was the main riff writer? Like who brought? Because Fahrenheit had its own, its own style, and it's a mashup of the environment and all that. Yeah, you could hear it. You could hear the hip hop. You could hear like a fusion. You could hear the heavy, the New York hardcore mix.
Yeah.
Who at first was bringing that? Who you think was the first? Who gave the first ingredient to what Fahrenheit became, to what the Fahrenheit sound became?
I think it was primarily Frank and Lenny.
Yeah, Frank and Lenny.
Yeah. They just, they were kind of dialed into each other because they both played together for a while. Frank's got like a real funky kind of vibe with his playing and his rhythms and stuff. And Lenny's like, just good, straightforward, write a riff. And it was just, the combination of both of them really kind of worked out well. And that's what kind of created the next step of it,
When you were doing the music, I mean, a lot of bands, they don't really, you don't think about it, but you do kind of go in saying, my idea of this band is something like when you did Fahrenheit, what you were taking at, because obviously you can hear influences, if it's a little burnish, bad brainish, mixed in with like a raw deal-ish, New York shit. That's what Madball was. Madball was the AF-ish, Cro-Magish with the fucking raw
Yeah.
Divas. You know, it's like,
But we never, the funny thing is, like, we never set out to sound like anything, right? It just goes like, oh, this riff sounds cool. Oh, let's just try and work this thing out. We'd be like, oh, this is a cool hook. And then we write around it. It was just never kind of, it just wound up being that way. I think just because of all of our influences and what we all listen to ourselves. But it was never like, I don't think we ever went into like, yo, we're going to sound like hip hoppy Burn. It was just like, we all love Burn.
Love Burn. Yes. That's
and we all love hip hop, and it manifests itself in how we sound. But yeah, it was never a conscious thing.
Because you had a lot of hip hop feel to it. Obviously, you had a lot of color in the band, so it's gonna leak out. But no, because I was wondering if you were like, we're gonna fill that void. There's always a void. There's always those spaces for that. The more urban heavy music, then you got the suburban heavy guys, then you got the gangster heavy guys, then you got the sentimental heavy guys, then you got the heavy girls, and then the heavy in between, whatever the heavy yeah, that's a new band, ladies, heavy girls.
Heavy girls.
That's hard. I like that shit, dude. I like that shit too. Girl power all the way. Shout out to all my heavy girls out there. But yeah, no, but because I was wondering, because I know maybe not that, but you guys had a big. It's funny because you guys pulled it off in a way that which I liked, was very, very hip hop influence, but without being just like, oh, it's a hip hop hardcore band. No, you could tell. Oh no, it's a big part of their DNA, like it is with Madball. But you don't say they're a hip hop core band. Hip whatever the name would be, which is great.
Yeah, we never got lumped into anything. I think it was also because we just kind of rolled and did our thing. I think people liked us for. Maybe because we were just different, but yeah, I don't think it's because we all just loved all that music. Grew up on it. It's like it is part of our DNA. It's part of we liked heavy shit, but we like rhythm and stuff too, and we also R&B and hip hop and fucking oldies and classic rock. It's just like it just winds up just funny how it organically happened, right? For lack of a better way of saying it. It just it was never a conscious thing, which is great. And even you think about Lenny, is the only one in our band, the only white guy in our band, and the only one who grew up in the projects.
Yeah, there you go. Bizarro.
None of us. Bizarro. We all live in the regular building.
Yeah, exactly. He's the Bizarro land where.
Yeah.
No, and that's New York though. That's another thing. That's like New York for you too. Like that's like it's so crazy, but it ain't. But that's what makes New York that dope. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what's what. Like again, the most. A kid from the village who doesn't come up in the South Bronx or Corona, Queens, still seeing some grimy shit in his own way and might be have an edge in his own. It's a crazy world downtown too.
But I used to gravitate, and I still do, and it's almost unconscious now. Like you see a person of color at a show, you see a person of color in a band, automatically I'm like, I'm already tuned into it. I'm like, what does this fucking sound like? And that was the same thing with the Bad Brains thing. The thing that changed that for me was it was like, 4 people of color, 4 black dudes on stage being just so intense and so dope. And I was just like, oh wow, that's people kind of, where are they from? You know what I'm saying? How did they get it? And then you kind of start going into it. So now it's even like I've seen like a real resurgence, I guess, with new bands now. It's like there's a real kind of, I don't know, conscious effort to include people of color in it. Whereas before it was like, you just belong to this world. Yeah. But there was no real movement towards it. It was just, what it was.
For sure. When I would see even now, I see, and there's a lot, it's mixed, but yeah, it's mainly, white, whatever. But when I see a kid of color, it don't matter where I'm at. I automatically, yo, what's up? I can't help it. But like, it's an automatic, we relate on something, on being, the 1 out of the 2, the 1 out of the 3, the 1 out of the 5, whatever it be, there's an automatic connection. And we get that no matter where we go around the world. It could be a Chinese kid that we meet in Norway, but we just know, okay, we can relate on not being what's the normal over here, because as accepting as hardcore is, that's what I love about it, is accepting and all that. But, it is what it is. Like what got me psyched about it in a little bit extra was when I remember my brother being like, I'm hearing an agnostic front, and I already liked that it was more gritty. Or hardcore was the grittier look and more real than metal, because I loved metal, but I never liked long hair and makeup. But I loved the music. And then my brother was like, yo, listen to this. And I would hear it. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I saw them. I go, yo, they look nuts. And he was like, yo, he's Cuban. And I was like, yo, he's Cuban. And I was like, oh.
First time I found out that Roger was Cuban, I was like, whoa.
We're like, oh, that's like, we have, one of the Beatles is Cuban. One of our Beatles, Elvis is Cuban. That's what it might as well been in our world. Like, you mean one of the faces of our Mount Rushmore is fucking Latin? Oh, it's on. We belong here.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, especially in the 90s, like hardcore had such a bad rap for being so fucking violent, especially the scene, and especially in New York. And people are like, oh, I love the danger of it, but there's something to that. There was something really predictable about going to a show and being like, what the fuck am I going to see tonight? You know what I mean? And it was really kind of weird. And as long as it's like anybody, like I never got fucked with because, you know your environment. You walk into a room and it's like, you walk like, because I also had the mentality of like, if you're on somebody else's block, you don't go in there wilding out and be like, yo, what's up? I'm from 179. Yo, what the fuck? Because that's going to get you fucked up.
Exactly.
So, I took that same mentality when I went to shows. I was like, all right, this is different. I don't really know everybody here, but I'm not going to wild out because I'm from this area. I know I can, I can hold my own, but it's like, that's not what it's about. It's about, being prepared, knowing your environment.
And it's a fucking perfect lesson in life. That's how you should walk in life everywhere. Don't think you're welcomed everywhere, because you're not. You're not. You do that in life. You walk in like you own the spot. People automatically gonna fucking paint a picture of you. This person's too comfortable, who they think they are, because there's always a hater. No, you go in modest and you scan the area and you play your position. That's the problem with people. They walk in like very comfortable in life.
And that's the dude, that's the dude that gets murked.
Exactly. He's the guy that gets dragged out fucking a couple hours later. But no, it's crazy. But it's true. And fucking I remember also finding out when they were like, yo, Lombard, because all right, back then, double bass, and then you heard Dave Lombard, of course, Slayer, and they're like, yo,
Tom Araya.
Yeah, and I know they're like Chileno or whatever, but when I heard Lombardo they were like, he's Cubano. I ain't Cuban, but just knowing that my favorite thrash drummer was freaking Latino, I was like, oh, listen, we own this shit. You guys just don't know it. You just don't know it. Yeah. Well, check this out, white people. You got to share it with us. Shout out to all my white people out there. That means everybody.
Exactly. That means the whole world.
That means everybody, my whole Smokin Word network. But shout out to everybody. No, but it's true. Like, but it was psych. But that's what I loved about it again too. Like, everybody belongs. You know what I mean? It was the one place. Well, for us, the scene was the one place where you would see the black, the white guy, the punk, the drug addict, the straight edge, the gay, the racist, the political, the left, the right wing. You saw it all. We went. A lot of us went to see the same bands at once. Oh, yeah. You remember that?
I remember fucking like multiple shows in a day. Like you'd be Coney Island High, and then it's like there's a show going on at Wetlands later, so they time them so like the last band goes on, first band's going on, and people like you see the same kids like all running from one building to the other one, hopping the train or walking over.
Go walk.
That was
over.
fun. Yeah, they do the late tramp shows. They used to do matinees and the CB's matinees, and tramps would be like night show, and then you head over there.
And crazy. And then what? So you guys were playing, and you guys were kind of, you never officially stopped. You just kind of took a big break. Was that it, or did you officially say we calling it a wrap?
Yeah, it was funny because we wound up, at one point wound up getting rid of Frank, which was the huge mistake because it was just we were all like in a weird place. Yeah. And, again, it's like it's the classic story. So he threw Frank out of the band, which is a total mistake. And wound up having, I remember Joey Rod.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he's hanging out with Fahim.
Yeah. Of course, I remember.
Chaka. He used to have a long ponytail.
Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen that guy in years.
Oh yeah. He like disappeared. I don't know where he's at. But he wound up getting in the band for a little while, and it just didn't feel right. And then I wound up quitting. And then they wound up doing their own thing for a year. I didn't talk to them for like 4 years. Any of the guys, like it was a bad kind of.
But
breakup.
They never replaced you though, right?
No. They tried to do like another band.
Okay,
No,
I was
they
gonna
just
say,
did
yeah,
one
I
time.
didn't see no reincarnation of you because we.
Nah, no. And then I ran into Lenny one night at the gallery, the downstairs of CB's. There was some fucking thing going on. We wound up talking. We hadn't talked in 4 years. We're like, oh, let's try and do something. And then we wound up doing that show at CB's. And then, then since then, we've kind of, it was going to be like, one time only thing, which we all know that's a lie in hardcore. That never happens.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
you keep getting back together until you're fucking all gone.
Yeah.
And even when you're gone, people, we'll get some other folks.
It's like you're a virgin and you're gonna have sex the first time and say, oh, just once. Just once. You ain't gonna bang no more in life.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you know how
Okay. Not willingly.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to, and then after that, we've kind of every once in a while we feel it out, and we just get back together and do some shit. But this is the first time we're gonna actually try and write some stuff.
Okay, let's go back. So right, obviously, so you saw each other, whatever, and then you decided, all right, let's get back and jam.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was that when you said, okay, let's get back and jam again? How long ago was that? In the last pre world demise, post world demise?
Yeah. When was that show that we played at CB's? I think it was like
for CB's, that's
2001.
Yeah, so okay.
That feels weird.
Yeah, you old, man. You old.
Metal. And that was a reunion show.
Oh.
And since then we played like every, this last show at H2O we hadn't played in 7 years.
Okay, so I was gonna work my way up to for sure. So so you when did you guys start jamming again? Like was it for these shows that you said okay? Okay, so you got the offer to do these shows, and you're like, all right, now let's get dirty.
Let's practice. Yeah. And then we wound up getting along so well, and Lou was like a breath of fresh air in the band, and we were like, oh, let's just have some fun, and then we had a show scheduled for next week at Barrow Electric, which got postponed. It was supposed to be with 247 Spies.
Oh shit, that would have been cool.
Yeah, and then because of a whole fucking flu Rona or whatever the fuck's happening, we had to postpone it. So we're gonna do that later on in the spring, but. Yeah, and then now we're just kind of rehearsing and hopefully start doing some riffs and stuff around.
So when you first got back in the studio, the first time back, that was the first time back in 7 years you guys were in the room together?
Yeah.
And all right, two things. How many hours was the first rehearsal? But did you just do it 2 hours?
3.
You did extra 3. Okay.
We did 3. Yeah, we did the extra 3. Yeah.
And then how did it click in quick? How did it feel? Jumping back into it right away.
It clicked them pretty quick.
Yeah.
It clicked them pretty quick. And the funny one thing was like, we are a rhythmic band. I play off of drums, and it was just like, having Lou, and it's a different feel.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit longer, I think, to connect with it. But yeah, man, these guys got together, they played it. It sounded dope. I was like, fuck. It sounds so good. It sounds even better.
That's dope. That's dope. Nah, and it feels good. Like, especially now, like I think like in general, being older, you're more conscious of everything. Like, when you're young, the energy, and you need the energy. But then, you got to start finessing. You start, you finesse your sound. And that's what you get with age, just playing. And I think that happens with everybody, no matter what. Because you see, whoever it is, the same members play the same song 30 years later is a little different. You know, if you like it or not, different. It's definitely... They finessed it. If you like it or not, they finessed it because they grew into those little hooks, the little corners and drops that you have in a song and all that shit. And so you did. How many weeks did you rehearse before your first show, the H2O shows?
4.
Oh, so you did a month.
Yeah, and it worked out well. We did 4 rehearsals, and and that was it. Like once a week, once every 2 weeks, and we kind of did it, and then. I think we pulled it off pretty well, second time was better than the first,
Yeah, I was gonna say, so all right, so now it's the day, all right, you rehearse, and now it's your first time back. Now now it's for the world out there. There's been a lot of shows already that's kind of happened, but for you, this was your first show, not only back after many years, but in general after all this shit going on. What was that? How were you guys? Because I know how it was for us. Doing our first couple shows back during this whole shit, you're wondering, how's the crowd going to react? Are people going to be, our friends going to come up and say, what's up and give you your hand? Are we going to be separated? We're thinking all this crazy shit because we don't know the layout of the new world. Well, what were you thinking when, those first shows back?
I don't know. I went into it just being like, feel it out. Cause I didn't feel super, I was conscious of it because of what's happening. But yeah, it was like everybody's shaking hands and hugging, and you know, everybody's cool. And you know, the second night was my 50th birthday. Was that same night of that show? So I was just celebrating my birthday. It felt really good. People were singing along, people were jumping up, and it was weird at first. I was like, I'm not gonna put the mic out.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? I want somebody spitting on my mic, and it was just like after a while, I was just like, fuck it, you know, just do what you gotta do. Feel whatever feels natural, and then work it out later.
Listen, I could say this: Freddie's one of the biggest germaphobes on the planet. I seen him, you know, we're all thinking this without talking it the first couple shows back. You know, we never had a discussion on this shit, but I know we're all thinking the same kind of thing. Like, what do you do? What if somebody comes, somebody wants to grab the mic? I got to say, Freddie don't give a fuck. Once that shit was on, it was on. You know, exactly. Yeah. It's on. What are you going to do? Like,
you turn the switch on. It's just like, it's
like you're gonna jump in a Shark Tank and then, you know, and say like, what I'm gonna do, not, you know, just float here. I'm just gonna float here and like nothing's gonna happen. Nah, it's on. You gotta fucking swim and do what you gotta do. But it's amazing how, you know, the I don't give a fuck just takes over.
Yeah, you know, it felt incredibly natural. So I was definitely psyched. So,
and then you did how many shows? 2 shows, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's all we've done so far.
And how did your stamina feel? Did you feel good stamina wise?
Yeah, man, I've been running.
You are a half a century old now. You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't do as much as I used to. That's for sure. But you know, I keep myself in shape. You know, I'm you know, do my cardio and do all that stuff. So yeah, it didn't feel bad. You know, I felt fine.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And freaking have you been keeping up with any music, like any hardcore shit? Because I know this happens to a lot of people, even if they can't. I don't know if you even fell out of it a little bit, but I know some people that fell out of it for a bit and now they came back. They kind of start getting their feet wet with what's going on with newer bands or bands that's going around it. Has any new band caught your fucking ears?
Yeah, I try to listen to as much as possible because I don't want to be that old guy that doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You know,
That's
I like everybody's favorite hardcore band, Turnstile.
Yeah, I was gonna say I talked about it not too long ago. They were just they're killing it. I root for them. You know, I root for them.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. That band, I listened to this band called Move out of Philly, I think. Oh no, out of Boston, which is
that's a dope name. I kind of like that name.
Yeah, that band Drain is pretty dope out of Cali. Was it Tsunami and Scowl? A lot of that Cali shit's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about the Scowl and all that. A lot. They've been playing a lot. You know, I want to get a lot of these. I try to keep up to date. Like I know, obviously, I ain't at these fucking all these shows, but I think
Vane's interesting and Knock Loose is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Knock Loose is leading the pack out of the young guns. I think you know right now. You know, and all those What do you think about like bands like Code Orange and that, like the more metallic, you know, even Knock Loose is more on that metallic shit.
You know, I'm not necessarily putting it on, but every time I see a live clip of them, I watch it.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting what they're doing now. They're kind of this industrial kind of new metal.
Yeah. It's definitely weird for me calling it hardcore, but I root for them. They represent, you know, they rep and, you know, they know the roots, and I'm off. Who the fuck? You know, when we came out, people were telling us, Madball. They were like, yo, we're too graffiti, we're too hip hop, we're too rap, we're too this. And we should be like, you know what? Fuck you.
Dude, now there's so many bands. That band Mind Force, too, is pretty dope.
I like them a lot, too. I want to get them on. I want to get a lot of these bands on here, you know, because
Raw Brigade, too. Also dope.
Yeah. You know, a lot of these, I like that they're grinding. And I like to see that with bands that just don't think like I'm going to drop a what do you call it? Band camp, and that's grinding. It's like, no, it ain't. You know, getting out there, playing these shows, a lot of these shows.
Yep. A lot of these guys are doing it.
Yeah. And then that's what I gotta say, this new batch of like, you know what I think it is? I think I'm gonna give credit to our generation that some of their kids are having bands now and they're coming up the right way. Like, you know, on a modest, let's get in front. Let's play the garage. Let's play the club. Let's play wherever we could get in front of people, kind of shit.
Put our own show together and get all our friends to play. Playing outside, grab the corner of the park, because they were doing those shows too, where it's just like
the skate park in the Bronx. I wasn't there, but I know about that. I remember being that. I was like sick of it all, playing, and I was like, yo, this is like, people don't understand. Like that shit just didn't happen. No, you know.
And
Like
that was the only show my mom ever went to. We played that Sick of It All show. My mom
I
only
want,
saw us once to that show because she could walk there from
yeah, and like guys,
from a
I
crib.
want people to understand. It's like might as well be like Knock Loose in Compton. You know, it just you didn't have hardcore shows in these areas. You know, there's kids sprinkled in. You know, that love the music. Obviously, they came out, but these boroughs were not known for having shows, and especially not the Bronx. You know, and it ended up, and you can probably see that footage. It was Sick of It All, and I don't know who else played.
It was us, Sick of It All, Six and Violence.
Wow. That's classic.
One
right
other
there.
band.
And there's footage online, right, on YouTube, right?
Yeah. It's on YouTube. You can watch both sets.
That's great.
Yeah, it was super fun, and it was great because it was like our backyard. I mean, we used to go to night pool next door at Malali, so that was kind of fun. It was fun.
That's dope and fucking and where all you guys living at now? Where you guys all scattered or
Yeah, we're pretty scattered. Frank is still in the Bronx,
Yeah.
Lenny's Queens,
yeah.
Kevin's Jersey on, it's Air Force still. He's on the Air Force. And
Yeah,
lives
shout
upstate.
out to him and thank you. And I'm glad he's doing good. I know I hope he's doing way better but I remember there was that whole thing going on. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, he's a little goofier than he used to be, but
that's all right. That's all right.
He's
a great player and he protects us. So he could be as goofy as he wants.
He's probably the most improved and most solid player in our band.
Yeah,
by far. I mean, when he was 19 and he was just picking up bass and he wound up just kills him, man.
Yeah, you guys always had great players. You lucked out. You guys always had good players, which is good. Like, like it's funny, I was just seeing something right now. It reminded me of you guys without reminding me of you guys when watching some footage of E-Town that was playing.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I was like, there's no E-Town without you guys. But then I was like, were they around what you remember the time frame?
They were. We played with them a couple times in Jersey. Yeah, similar times. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, because I know that we all played together, and I'm like, you guys do not sound the same, but was that same energy? And I remember that's that era where you could have the Fahrenheit, then there's the Marble, then there's an E-Town, then there's a Scarhead, then there's a fucking
Fury 5.
Yeah. And which we don't sound alike, but you could take the pieces and kind of interchange them, which was dope.
Candiria, Hatebreed.
All that, the wetlands, that era of wetlands, I gotta say, was like, I think it gets forgotten about. I think somebody got to document the wetlands. Of course, CB's is king. Of course, king, queen, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but it upsets me that like every time you see anything about CB's, like the whole hardcore scene gets overlooked. They kept the lights on in that place.
I agree.
For years. When all the punk rock people fucking moved onto the new shit.
And facts. And it's facts. And the reason why also, obviously, with the CBs, the Blondies, the Talking Heads, but why also that got shined? Because they said, oh, what else happened there? Well, these crazy punk rock hardcore shows happened there. Because
there was Wetlands, it was like all the hippie shit. And everybody thinks of it as like a hippie. But it used to be like so many dope shit. I love, that was my favorite room. Because I just loved like the downstairs, the way everything was set up.
A lot of great things. Again, I'm remembering now, like, listen, Agnostic Front getting back on stage was during our set at fucking Wetlands.
I was there.
It was on video and that's popping in my head now. Like, that's some classic shit that I completely forgot about. That same club, I got to see Big Daddy Kane. Warren, shout out to Warren Pitchfork. Warren was tour managing Big Daddy Kane. And I saw him in Wetlands in front of like 50 people. Big Daddy Kane killed it, but Warren TMing and Roger picking up his girlfriend at the time at Wetlands. It's me, funny. Roger. I forgot who else. We're watching Big Daddy Kane at Wetlands. We're like, this is insane. Like, only in New York.
I've seen so many. I saw Manowar there.
Yeah, crazy. I see. Forget it.
And it was funny because when I went to Manowar, it's like all the hardcore people there. It's like, it's like Lou and fucking Peter there. And over here, it's like so many people. Like, it's like they all,
that was that era, because that was, that era of, it's funny, all the classic OG hardcore guys, the Sick of It All guys, Armando, all the Rest in Pieces. A lot of those dudes are like, people forget that was when it was changing. Denim and Leather was getting into the punk rock hardcore. So those guys, like my brother, these were all metal guys that were looking for the most extreme shit you can, and that's what they did.
remember the show. Remember the BDP, Sick of It All,
Hell
Burn.
yeah.
That shit was
Amnesty
fire.
and that. Hell yeah. That was
Oh,
fucking
so good.
I see that flyer and I get chills.
So do I. Remember exactly being there and like the
Yeah,
whole
I
vibe.
remember. I remember Heather B coming out and killing it. Just her
Mhm.
shit, the whole thing. Everybody murked
Mhm.
it. I remember,
Yeah.
classic times. And then though you did these shows and these couple of shows with H2O. Who else was on that? Those
Reaching Out, Cruel Hand,
Cruel Hand, Reaching Out.
Be
Shout out to-
Well,
Yeah,
Be Well. It's
great.
called The Slackers, which I never really heard of.
Yeah.
But,
Those are stacked. Great shit. Great.
Yeah.
Mix.
And Shutdown.
Yeah, the shutdown shows. That's cool, man.
And Shutdown was on the show too. So yeah, it was like fun. It was like old times.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then you were saying, so now you're saying you're talking about, you guys are talking about working on some new shit, maybe recording some new shit.
Yeah, new shit. Probably a couple more shows. And yeah, I don't know. We're also talking about trying to go out to California.
Oh hell yeah.
Going out to Europe because we never went to Europe.
Yeah.
And doing it while we still can. So yeah, that's gonna hopefully be the plan.
As far as music, you guys got anything floating around yet, or you're just talking about it?
Just talking about it right now. Yeah. We haven't even started. Like now that the show got canceled, we have some more time, and we're gonna start trying to like just bounce some riffs around.
You
Sure.
You went to any shows lately? Even if you weren't playing anything you've been to?
Nah. I was supposed to go, but then I wanted traveling. I had tickets to go see that D Nice thing up at Prospect Park, but I didn't get to go to that.
Oh,
that's the only show. Yeah, I haven't been to anything.
There ain't much going on. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know what's what. Like, same thing. We have some shows scattered here and there, and the world is nuts right now.
Yeah, I'm serious. It's like it's almost becoming like we're back again. Like I'm baking bread again. I made focaccia last night. It's like the beginning of pandemic again. But I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. I'm not. New York is depressing the shit out of me.
Yeah. Are you trying to?
Yeah, just try to get away as much as possible. It's just like being here in this environment, like the way things. It's just stifling, man. You just get paranoid and start feeling weird about shit. So it's just like.
Yeah. No, I know it's okay. It's a crazy place, man. The world is nuts, man. And it's funny. I'm watching it from outside. Watching even my state, my city. Like, so it's crazy watching that and hearing it from people that like hearing negative shit from fucking people that would never say negative shit. Yeah, it's crazy. It just shows you shit is fucking changed.
It's just weird. Like I don't have any. It's like almost uninspired because everybody just feels like so kind of boxed. So
let me tell you, it's wild west in Florida. These motherfuckers out here never missed a beat. That's fucking.
That's what I'm saying, man. Just shooting guns.
There's guns going off, fireworks,
coughing on each other.
People coughing, lizards, just random pythons.
You got ice shots off the fucking ice block. Everybody's faces all up in there.
Licking each. When you see people in Florida, you go hi and you lick them. That's how you say hello over here. You lick them.
Yeah, man, it's a thing. I get it.
It's like that theory. You wash your hands with dirty water, it makes it cleaner.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a double negative. You just
when you take the magnet and you flip it upside down.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what Florida is a magnet. Florida and Texas, they're like that. Man. Listen. I would say we welcome you, but we got enough of you. What was the Yankees? Yeah, I'm selling out the North right now. We full.
I know it's done. I know people are trying to be like, yo, Florida's open.
Yeah, Florida. I'm like, nah, yo.
Closing up shop, bro.
We're closing up for the winter, yo. Let me get a new house first, man. You motherfuckers is killing me.
Property prices, stop raising them.
But good, but does Fahrenheit, you guys have a Instagram or the Facebook?
Yeah, there's a Facebook, which I never see because I'm not on Facebook. But yeah, we have an Instagram too, and then we're on Spotify and all like the platforms. So the whole discography is on there. So basically every song we ever released is out there. So
what's up with merch? If people want to get merch, where you go? Where could they get merch?
At the show.
At the show. Oh, we might have to work on a Fahrenheit Casa de Rock exclusive collab. We're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna start doing some shit because we're gonna start setting up shop out here, and I'm gonna start doing some fucking fly shit with certain people. So
let's do it, man. I gotta get down with that grinder.
Yeah. You know what? Don't worry, I got a little something coming soon. But good. Anybody who wants to find out anything, they can get you at the Fahrenheit on Instagram, and your own personal. You have an Instagram, right? I forget.
Yeah, I'm on the board. I was like, my full name.
All right. I'm glad.
I'm talking to.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hit him up for sure. I'm glad I was able to fucking catch you and get you back on this because I was like, I gotta say, You're my second what do you call it? Bermuda Triangle on an episode. I lost one other one, and it was Toby with his brother, and I did that like 5 years ago. So you're in good company.
Okay.
So
All
in
right,
that
good.
Matrix, that is the Toby interview. The three guys from the Superman movie in the glass thing, and then your podcast.
I'm part of that blue, red pill, whatever, man. Let's go for it.
Well, listen.
I'm part of that La Raza.
Yeah, exactly, yo. Shout out. But listen, I'm glad you on, everybody, yo. Go check out Fahrenheit. Go tune into fucking Armando's fucking Instagram. Look out for them. Go cop that merch. Hopefully, I see you soon. Hopefully, we get that black and blue bowl. You know, if that, hopefully that can happen one day. And you know, always, wherever we can make it happen, I would love, you know, some Madball Fahrenheit. You know what I mean? We got to bring some color to this shit.
Some saying, you know the deal.
You know what's up? But yo, one love, brother. Tell everybody I said what's up. We're dropping this shit this Thursday. I'll let you know what's up, Armando.
Cool. Love for real, brother.
Yo, one love, man. We out.
Peace.
Peace.